Amish. It does.
For more news, visit youtube.com/PapeMine5.
This is Ozzy Skateboard, and you're listening to UCY.tv.
And we are live. Hi, everybody. This is Ian and Jacqueline from iCureCancer.com, fresh home from Tijuana, Mexico. And wow, is it good to be home. Don't get me wrong, I love Tijuana, but if you ever want to have fun, run out of car insurance, get lost downtown Tijuana Saturday night after somebody passed you something to smoke that was a little stronger than you expected, and try and get across the border that way. My angels were obviously on my side that night and made me get lost for 3 hours, and I just went back to the hotel. And it was better because I got to meet sort of a John of God type healer, Mama Keita, while I was there. So it's funny how, serendipity kicks in. And I was supposed to come home Saturday night and ended up coming home, I think it was yesterday night. But it was a fun trip, man, and I got to meet some amazing people. And by the way, this is J. Cynthia Brooks, my co-host. How are you, darling?
I was wondering.
I was just going to do the whole show talking. Yeah.
When you're going to bring me in, I was like, oh, he's going to bring me in at 2:59 maybe.
Yeah, boy, well, trust me, I could talk about this trip to Tijuana. Woo!
Yeah, both had quite an amazing past week, it sounds like. So yes. My question is, you didn't meet John of God, but you met someone like him. Is that right?
Yes. Her name is Mama Keita. And I unfortunately, my Spanish, no habla español poquito at best. So I'm waiting to get a translator to translate the interviews because I got to meet this woman that apparently is like, and I could tell, I've been hanging around with you and Reverend Lynn long enough. I could tell good energy when I see it. And they do the same kind of healing things that you guys do with the hands.
I'm having problems with the Skype today. I apologize ahead of time for that. Also, I apologize. I have a little cough today, and so yeah, it's a little one. But again, beg your pardon for coughing on air if it happens. So just know, you too, Ian. For some reason, you're going in and out on me. Not a lot, but all I heard was that she's a hands-on healer, which John of God is not exactly that. Stacy went to see him, and I have 2020 actually, the news magazine, television news magazine, actually, I think it was John Gayotes, went down there to interview him and to get a healing and all this stuff. And I still have that. Do you recall I told you about that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I can't say what kind of healer she is because that's probably when I dropped out. They all speak Spanish, and I don't, so I couldn't. I'm waiting to get a translator to translate the interview because I just pretended, even though I knew I wouldn't understand her messages, I just pretended that she was Jesus Christ or that kind of Christ-like Gandhi-style figure and asked her questions prevalent to my film and the world as far as cancer healing goes. So I can't wait to hear what she said and I could just tell by her energy looking into her eyes. I mean, she's an amazing woman. And she fixed my hip for the day, at least for a few days actually, while we were shooting because I was out of the cannabis oil. You know, you don't mess with that down there. So I was basically, all my joints and everything were seizing up without these CBDs in my system, and whatever she worked with her hands, kind of like the stuff you and Reverend Lynn do, that light energy work, Reiki sort of stuff, it worked, man, for a good 3 days. So, and call it placebo, I don't care what you call it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only people that have been cured by cancer with chemo was by placebo effect. So, hey, if she did something in my hip and it worked and it was placebo, great, whatever works, you know?
Do you recall when I did the healing on your hip with the crystal?
Yep.
Do you recall how many days it lasted?
About a day or two. That's usually every healer I've ever been to that works that kind of stuff on my hip. It lasts a day or two. And then I never have the money or the time or whatever to keep that up. So I'm combining the physical with the spiritual as well. But I'll tell you what, I'm walking a lot better than I ever have in my life, man. I'm trucking around. People that have seen me, that used to see me limping like an old man, they're like, check you out. And you all lean and shit. And I'm like, yep, But Daddy on his A game.
Yeah, well, what that is that what we're doing, all we're doing is assisting you to a frequency, a vibration of wholeness. And so you kind of, I've experimented on myself, kind of things like this. And so what happens is just you drop the frequency a little bit, that's all. But you can get back to that frequency of, no pain in your hip or your body on your own as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. So what was, by the way, I wanted to say thank you so much for forwarding that video. If you guys haven't seen this video yet, it's called, what's it called, spoon bending or something? On YouTube.
Oh, you watched it?
Oh my God, did I watch it? And I posted it like crazy. Anybody, I know you've all heard about spoon bending. People can do it with their minds, right? But you think it's BS. Well, this is a video where somebody like myself, somebody's doing the same kind of film work I am. They're picking topics that actually matter and are interesting. And they went and just got a whole bunch of regular people together, put them and taught them this meditation, how to bend a spoon. And it's just so amazing the way they shot it too, where they show you all these things. You think, there's no way these people are going to do it. They're regular people. But you look at them, and almost all of them, if not all of them, were able to bend the spoon. And some of them were able to, spin that sucker into, designs and stuff. And it's just amazing.
That was my friend Norma.
Yeah.
That was my friend Norma. Yeah, I, too. I was one that was not, I thought spoon bending. I thought, maybe 1 of 5 people ever on the planet could do it,
right.
Possibly. But I just didn't think, I didn't believe it at all. And so anyway, let's give a shout out. I want to get that teacher. I'm going to get together with her to start spoon bending next week. And I would love to have her on the show as a guest. She's amazing. Her name's Denise. Let's give a shout out to Denise. Yeah. I actually even ran it past her as perhaps maybe you would want to film it as she's teaching me how to do that.
For sure.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
But what happened was that she had just put out an email, and one of my best friends, Norma Eccleston, who's also an amazing writer, we should have her on the show. She's right now writing a book from the patient's point of view of using cannabis oil. And I keep meaning to get you two together as well, Ian, because she's got a lot for you, and I know you've got a lot for her. Anyway,
I was just going to say hello, connection there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been trying to connect you guys for quite some time now.
Okay.
Yeah. But in all honesty, coming from me, in all honesty, and it's funny, Cynthia, you know how to do hands-on healing work, but yet you don't believe in the spoon bending. Well, I just didn't. And I still would not have, had not, and I didn't know my dear friend Norma was in that film even. It was just, I did not know Denise. It was a friend of a friend kind of thing. So I just, in the email, just happened to say, hey, I'd love to see that footage. And Denise sent me the YouTube footage. and midway through, the blonde with short hair, midway through, and then she was the one spinning it in like designs. That's my good friend Norma. And so when I was Norma, I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. This is real. I would have still, if one of my best friends wasn't in it, I wouldn't have believed it either.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to prove to and this is great that timing that it came, because and thank you and Reverend Lynn, by the way, for covering my show last week, and I listened to it and it's amazing. I'm going to put it on YouTube when I can so people can fast forward and rewind it. That's the only thing, for some reason that episode got recorded where you have to just let it play through the whole is where the quantum physics comes in and starts proving the spiritual aspect. Yes?
You cut out again. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah. Well, I'll just ask you later what you said, something about quantum physics, because I won't bore the listeners.
All right, I'm going to switch off from the, hold on, I'm turning my fans up. I'm just going to do is this any better? Can you hear me now?
I can. No, you go it's not even like dull. It absolutely falls out, and you don't know that you've fallen out. I don't think you can hear me either, because I was like, Ian, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
okay.
So.
Well, I just took the headphones off. I think they got wrecked on my trip because it was crazy. But anyway, this should be good. So I was basically trying to say that this is where mystical science, religion, everything comes together, because obviously if somebody's it's proving that your brain, your mind, your thoughts they work, they're there, you just can't see them. Like the wind, we know the wind works because we don't, even though we don't see it, we feel it. Same as this kind of energy, correct?
You see the effects of it, yeah. You see the effects of it,
mm-hmm.
The wind. Right.
Now,
so you believe.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a caller online. Who joined us just now?
Hello, Slayable.
Who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Hello, Slayable. My name is Joseph.
Joseph. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Are you the guy from the? Are you Ian?
Yes.
Or,
yes. Is it?
Are
you?
That is, I.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Do you have a question, sir?
Well, I invited about 2,000 people to your Facebook invite thing.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm former Amish, and it's amazing how these people had to leave the country almost just to get away from the tyranny of this industry.
Absolutely. Let me ask. Hold on 1 second. Are you Sam, my friend that is supposed to call in for this show? My guest, is this Sam?
No. I'm Joseph Slayball.
Okay.
I posted the video of that interview of that somebody interviewed this.
Oh yeah, Chris Warwick. Okay, yeah. Well, very quickly, do you have a point to make? Because we're going to have Sam, who I guess is a friend of the family, call in at 1:15. So, but
yeah.
Would you like to say something?
I was just wanted to see the hemp oil stuff. I was just going to ask if does it help with other stuff like other than cancer? Does it like for? I mean, I've been told that it's supposed to be good for pain and all that stuff and whatnot, but do you guys have a list of things that it has been proven to be good for?
Yes, absolutely. I've been studying this quite a bit for my film, I Cure Cancer 2, because I've discovered this closest thing to a silver bullet cancer cure since my first documentary, I Cure Cancer. It's great for Crohn's. It's great for arthritis. I personally, as I was speaking about earlier, I've been dealing with a bad hip for about 12 years from kickboxing injuries. And when I'm on the cannabis hemp oil, it's a major anti-inflammatory, so it basically balances everything out. It's because there's cannabinoids in the cannabis, and there's cannabinoids in our brains and in our organs, and the ones that are missing in our brains and our organs get replenished by the ones in the cannabis. So it basically balances everything out. So you get, cancer goes away, Crohn's, I hear 75, 80% of the pain goes away. I know myself, 75% of the pain is gone when I'm on the oil, and if I'm not, it's almost unbearable. That's why I try all of these different methods, spiritual and alike. What do you have that you're worried about?
Well, I'm not so much myself. I don't have cancer or anything like that, but my wife and a couple of my kids were born with missing chromosome. I'm not sure if that's going to help them or anything, but it might, and that's why I'm just kind of curious. And where would I get them? Where would I get it if it was?
Which chromosome is it?
For myself, for my wife and two girls were the 8th chromosome, and my son was the 2nd chromosome.
Wow, I don't.
And
know.
by the way,
I got to be honest with you, I don't know anything about that, brother. So I couldn't really advise you on that.
I know for sure that yes products would work for sure. If you started taking
part of that is like tight muscles and stuff like that. By the way, the state of Ohio took 2 of our kids away a couple of years ago, and we're still fighting to try to get them back. But we're kind of in the same situation as the Hershbergers. But
oh no, but it's
okay.
But let me real.
The Paranomega 6s, the Paranomega 6s, the Yes product would work, and also what would help that, and perhaps cure it 100% is the ASEA as well.
Well, I mean, for now, it's kind of hard to put a whole thing together. But what I would say, if I think, and I say this to everybody across America, every neighborhood should have somebody, a medicine man that knows how to make real medicine. And so all you do, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube that do this, see this. You can watch the movie by Rick Simpson called Run from the Cure. And there's all videos that teach you. Basically, you get a pound of marijuana and you boil it down with 99% isopropyl alcohol. Is one of the more common solvents. You boil all that off anyway, so just that is left is the essential oil from the plant. And you put the whole plant in there, the leaves, the stems, the buds, the flowers, everything, because all the different cannabinoids come from different parts of the plants. And then once you have that 2 ounces of oil from that 1 pound of marijuana, that's, if you're taking, you need to work up to 1 gram a day if you have something strong like cancer. So that will last you 2 months. And normally that's a cure right there.
Can you hear me, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me? I don't know if you heard the suggestion about the Paranomega 6s and the ASEA. Did you guys hear me say that?
Yes. I was just saying, it's kind of hard to put a whole protocol together. Basically, you need to start from the ground up and start blending all organic natural juices and stuff. So, but anyway, I hope that helps.
With the chromosome problem, with the chromosome, the ASEA, because those redox molecules, that's why I'm suggesting that. I can post it on your Facebook page, too.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll help you out there, caller. I appreciate you calling in. We have a new caller who just joined us.
This is Sam, the Amish kid on the Hershberger cancer case.
Great. How are you? How are you, Sam?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. I just interviewed Chris Wark, who interviewed one of the family members recently. We're trying to get this out to the public. Anybody that's just hearing this for the first time, the Sarah Hershberger is basically on the run now. The parents have had to take her and run because this is so pathetic. The hospital, they didn't want chemo for the child, of course, because they found out by accident that when the nurse was over and told the family, like, keep this chemo away from the other children because it causes cancer. The parents said, whoa, wait, what? And then the nurse realized she screwed up and she felt bad about it, tried to cover. It was too late, though. The cat was out of the bag. And they're like, you're putting something that would cause cancer to my other children, if they touched it, into the vein of my child that has cancer. I don't understand that. So they researched it, found out that it is BS, that chemo only has between a 3 and 40% success rate, depending on the type of cancers. And the side effects are just horrendous, whereas something like this cannabis hemp oil, and this is just word on the street because we don't have the money for studies, but from what I hear is an 85% success rate for pretty much almost all types of cancers. So to me, that would be the first thing that the hospital should go to, is get the kid on the cannabis hemp oil. But of course, our system, they don't do that. So anyway, Sam's here today to talk to us a bit about this. Do you want to kind of start from the beginning and give us the whole situation, and then update us to what's going on now?
Sure. I think you already covered. You covered a lot of it. It started out, and I don't know if you guys, listened to the interview by Isaac Heim. I think Chris, he had interviewed him, and there's a phone interview. You can listen to where he covers basically the entire case. Not before the last court date, when...
Can I jump in here? I'm having a hard time hearing. Are you Ian, our guest? I can't quite hear our guest. I can't quite make out what he's saying.
Okay, is it better now? It might be the phone I'm on.
Yeah, that's better. Just try and really make sure you talk into the piece, but that's better. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it's... And you covered how the experimental treatment that they were actually forcing on this girl. It was making her seriously sick, where she couldn't get out of bed and everything. And then they found out, the experimental treatment could actually cause cancer. And then, and when they refused, to continue the treatment, then the hospital was like, we can take you to court, that is child abuse, which contradicts, because, if you're giving a child something that could actually cause cancer, to me that seems, rule in the Hershberger's favor. And then, from my understanding, they had another court case, and basically the judge was, asked to, rule in favor of the hospital, or he would lose his job. And then he, ruled in the hospital's favor, which was, to give the Maria Schreimer legal guardianship over the daughter. Which under the Ohio law, if it's to the best interest of the child, then, that's possible. But we don't think it's the best interest of the child when, you're actually giving something to the child that could cause cancer. And, and these parents, are not unfit parents. They're loving parents, and they want what's best for their child. And so, they have pursued, a second option, the alternative method. And as for now, the girl is cancer-free. And, it's been confirmed by 3 different tests. And, they even offer, the hospital, let the hospital monitor them, to see, if, it would come back, or, at least monitor it. And the hospital refused, to monitor it unless they do the treatment the experimental treatment that they wanted to do.
Right.
So,
what I found really interesting was, Cynthia, and let me just clarify this for the audience and everybody, that when the parents wanted to stop the chemo and the child wanted to stop the chemo, they had to go to court. And this blew my mind. When Chris, you can see I watched it again when I heard this from Chris, the reaction on my face was, what? Child Services sided with the family? That's 2 now. That's twice. They did that with my other friend, Eric. And that has never happened in the history of the world that I know of until this year. So that's good. And they won it. They won the first one. So same thing happened with the second case. How they had to go to court twice for such a ridiculous thing, I don't know. They won it again. And then the third time, they got a new judge in there that knew he was going to get fired if he didn't decide on this. Because the hospital's getting a grant for somebody, a lot of money, because they're Amish. They don't have insurance. So somebody else said, well, we'll step in and be the do-gooders. Here's a couple million. Or I don't want to say numbers, but here's a lot of money for your hospital for her to do this program. And now the parents woke up and realized that chemo doesn't work. They, the hospital's very upset. And they actually won the third case. So now the kid has to be on the run from the law with the parents. They're supposed to be, being healthy and happy and, living life free. But they're not. They're on the run because of this hospital, this evil, evil hospital. Unbelievable.
And, and that's what we would like to bring to attention is, and this girl and her parents, they just want to come home and, they want to be left alone by these people, medical industry that have been bullying them, and harassing them, and it's unfair, it's unfair, mistreatment that the hospital has been giving them. And they just want to be able to come back home, to their regular lifestyle and, just be left alone by these people. And, and that's what our effort is to get this out, because we feel that, this plea should be honored. This plea by this girl and her parents should be honored. And, currently, there's a couple good projects, that we got going, to hopefully help with this. One, we got the fund that we got started for Sarah, which is, anybody can access it at k.mp/Sarah's fund. And if people are unable, to donate, at least there's a link on that site that will take you to the petition, and you can at least, if you don't have money to donate, at least sign the petition to honor Sarah and her parents' plea, that they should come back home and, not be harassed by these people. So, that's
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have two questions for Sam when he's done.
I think you're good.
Sure.
One question is for both Sam and Ian. Have you guys hooked them up with Dr. Coldwell?
No, I have
With
not.
who?
I have not been able to get a hold of this family yet. I'm just this is the closest actually right now. But anytime I can talk to them, I mean, I know people in Tijuana. Yeah, we can talk to Dr. Coldwell.
Doctor. Somebody should bring this case to Dr. Coldwell.
And and just to clarify, these people, they're Amish, they're conservative Amish, so it's more difficult to get a hold of them. So it's my honor, to speak on their behalf until it's in any way that we can get support for this family. They're of their own. Their family value is something that is very highly noted by them. So it's not like they're neglecting their child. It's the opposite. They want what's best for their child. Which, now that they have pursued alternative methods, she is cancer free. And they're going to continue, the treatment. So her cancer doesn't return. And so,
right.
the plea is, that they could just come back home to their Amish community and not be harassed by these people.
Yeah, please just leave us alone.
That's what I'm saying is I think Dr. Coldwell and his group of attorneys, they practice constitutional law because her constitutional rights are being violated. And as Dr. Coldwell has taught us, constitutional law trumps state and federal laws. So it might be a very interesting case for him to take, particularly because they're Amish. My other question to you, Sam, is are you Amish as well?
Yes, I'm Amish too. I'm with a group that's more liberal Amish, therefore I have a phone. Now, like we don't have internet or anything like that, although, we have electric and phone. Now we're with this girl and her family. They're more with the conservative Amish, they don't have electric or, phones, so, it's, we're two different sects of Amish, but yeah, I'm Amish as well. And, and I'm a two-time cancer survivor myself. So I know what these people are going through, and if, after I had cancer the second time, I started with alternative medicine, which, I give credit to the alternative medicine, that kept my cancer from returning. I've been cancer-free since I was 6 years old now.
Right on, right.
So,
wow, that's really interesting. Ian, it's so funny that you're talking about synchronicity, just because my best friend actually is going, and this is a whole other topic, but it just popped in my mind about I've been seeing the Hollow Earth theorem this week, and my best friend is leaving for Antarctica to go investigate something, and who's on his team is actually very brilliant Amish gentleman. So it was just interesting that popped into my mind. And some of us we didn't know the different degrees of Amish that you could be. Some of us, that's why I was asking, because he's obviously, this man who's going to Antarctica with my best friend, he's obviously like a different sector of the Amish as well, would be my guess. Is that right?
Yes, yes. And, and there's a wide range of sects of Amish. Some remain very conservative, and, others have adapted more liberal. But one thing in a case like this, the entire community will unite, just unite and support this case, because this is not, it's not about religion. It's not about being Amish. This is something that, it shouldn't happen to any family or a child in America. It's a mistreatment from a hospital, that has, mistreated his family in a way no or a child treated. And, and because they're Amish, they have endured way too much, they don't, of course, they don't sue or, in that sense, but they just want to be left alone, and it's, like I say, pointed out, they're not being neglectful, they have pursued what they feel is the best interest for the child, and, and as the earlier court rulings have found, they are not unfit parents, they're good quality parents.
Right.
So, it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. My last report, I've heard Akron Children's Hospital does want to back out, but even at that, we need to make sure the plea is heard. This girl and her family want to come back home, and they want to be left alone. They don't want to be harassed or, in fear that their child would be taken from them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on here, Sam. Do me a favor. I got a little blurb here. I'm gonna blab out for a second. Do me a favor, hang up and recall us to see if we get a clearer connection. But I'm gonna basically make some points here while you do that. Okay?
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll call back.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so here's the bottom line, folks. The plight is leave us alone. We are doing good things for our child, way better than you could. You want to give us our child. Uh-oh. Shit.
Can you hear me now, Ian?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Could you hear me through that whole time?
No, I haven't heard nothing. Hold on. I don't even know if I'm on. I guess we're on. I think we're on. Sorry about that, folks. Are you there, Sam?
Yeah, I'm here. Is it any better?
That's a little bit better. Okay, sorry. And we had some technical issues there, so we didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to talk. But basically, you're saying the family wants to be left alone. We are taking care of our child. We're doing amazing things for her. She's already cancer-free, so just leave us be, is all you're trying to say. And unfortunately, what they want to do, and this is the most hysterical and sad part, is they want to bring in, they think instead of having this Amish mom and dad be there for the child, that this Maria Schreimer, it would be better. And you know what she used to do? First of all, she's an attorney, and she's a caregiver to the people that were on feeding or whatever, the heart monitors and feeding tubes because they're brain dead, and she would be the one that came in to decide to, off them or not, pull the plug. And that's who they want to make the mother of this child instead of the Amish family that's giving her holistic healing. It's unreal, this world sometimes. So
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, we get it. It's awful. And what's great is that we're putting it out there. But Sam also mentioned, I believe, that there's a website, and maybe, Ian, if you could repeat it, because I couldn't make it out. If you could repeat it slowly so people can actually go to this website. I believe it said you can donate to help. If you can't donate, sign the petition. Is that right? But I couldn't make out what the website is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And And the website is J like in John, and then period, and then M like in Mary, and P like in Peter, / Sarah's Fund.
Sarah's what?
Fund.
It's Sarah's Fund. SARAHSFUND. Sarah's Fund.
But I was trying to say there. Yeah, it's all recovered, Cynthia. I got it on the page, so anybody that knows my Facebook event page for the I Cure Cancer Amish Girl update with family friend, that it's right there, so you can click on it. It's basically GoFundMe.com/Sarah's-Fund. Sarah's-Fund. SARAHS-Fund. Okay, so that's on the page, and definitely anybody that can help, and always stay in contact with us. The point is to get numbers together. There's power in numbers, and this isn't the only little girl doing this. Another little girl just has had to run away. Actually, a woman and her little boy had to leave Colorado. They moved to Colorado because it was a legal state for the medicinal marijuana, which was working for the leukemia, and the hospital basically said, well, you're still going to do the chemo for 2 more years, even though the cancer's gone. And she said, no, I'm not. And she left. So she's on the run from the law. So when I was in Tijuana, I was actually looking for a house. You can rent houses, big houses in Tijuana, a nice area of Tijuana, for like $200 a month. I was thinking we should get a house down there for all these poor people that have to run away from the law in America, because we are no longer America. We're U.S. Inc.
Yes, well, that's a great solution. I think that if everybody puts their minds together, because, we can certainly rant and rave till the cows come home, but we need to get on a frequency of solutions, how to help these people, other than, petitions and whatnot. There's got to be a way. And, of course, there's, power in numbers. I'm always surprised, and I was surprised at myself, that I didn't even know it was illegal to give your child 18 and under to refuse chemo. So a lot of it is just telling people and making them aware, because everybody who finds out is infuriated, especially now, that alternative medicine is starting to really, make its way in the country, much more than 17 years ago when I was curing myself with cancer with alternative medicine. I see a tremendous growth. And so it really is, as they say, it's a time of awakening on so many different levels. And this is one of the awakenings. So it's just about telling as many people as possible and sharing, and even, it's just sending things out, because I'm not a big petition signer either, and a lot of other people aren't. But it's more about the awareness. And once, we become aware, more and more people become aware of this sort of not so good law, that's when it'll get overturned. Also, I don't know about contacting very large public figures like Gloria Allred, possibly. We should send her a note and let her know what's going on with this, or other large public figures. And I said, I can't say it enough, Dr. Caldwell should know about this as well. So it's about the awareness, and so that people can join together instead of small groups, all over the place just getting angry, that it's kind of pushing against. And it's not so much solution-oriented as just, the awareness and finding more solutions and places for these people to go.
Yeah, exactly. We need to really, as Gary Knoll always says, go with the grassroots, start with your neighborhood, bring people together. Like I was saying, it's very, especially with the Amish, I love groups like that. Like, I'm hoping to work with some of the Hopi natives or any native tribes that are on American Indian land, where we don't have to worry about the AMA or the FDA. And these are more natural, down-to-earth people. So they get it already. So and that's why they're doing what they do. I always thought it was funny. I was against certain things, like if a child needs a blood transfusion, there's certain religions or whatever that say, we can't do that, it's against our religion, the child could die. I don't understand that so much, but I do understand them saying that chemo is going to give my kid cancer, the ones that aren't even having it injected into them. Yeah.
Right.
Well, then why are you going to inject it in my kid? I think everybody should be able to say no to that.
Well, it's just that, it's about respecting other people and their beliefs just as we would like our beliefs respected. So, if I know certain religions, too, that actually the Essenes, Ian, are not big on blood transfusions either. But what needs to be is opportunity. This is supposed to be a free country, an opportunity for anyone to heal by the means that they want and their choices. and reinstilling that freedom by still maintaining the respect for other people's belief systems.
Right. That's what I told the late.
And I might mention this, in 2011, Ohio had an amendment to protect families from exactly what this is, where you don't have to take a treatment, you can't be forced to a treatment that you don't feel comfortable with. So, in 2011, there was actually an Ohio amendment, to protect Ohio residents of exactly what they're trying to enforce now. And also, the parents did not, they did not consent to the second phase. So, it's just, I guess in general, the plea, the effort is just let's get let's honor their plea, where they can come back home, as a family, and not be harassed or bullied, left alone, and anybody going to that website, that we just mentioned, if you're unable, to donate, there's a link on that website that takes you to the petition that is it's a petition to stop the forced chemo by the hospital and the state of Ohio, to stop this forced chemo and to honor Sarah and her parents' plea, that they could come home and not be bullied. So, if you can't donate, at least sign the petitions for us. Let's let our voices be heard, because this kind of abuse, no family, when they truly understand what's going on, I don't think even the medical doctor will want this kind of treatment for their own children. So, why should the Amish have to put up with something like this? It's not fair. It's a mystery.
Absolutely. Again, nobody should have to, be put through this, no doubt. I wanted to tell Ian something a little funny there, because he brought up the Hopi tribe. You already are working with one. You do know that I'm like an eighth Hopi Indian, Ian, do you?
Right.
Well,
I'm part Native American. I'm part Native American Indian myself.
So that's actually, I've been kind of working on that, the idea about getting in contact with, it doesn't just have to be the Hopis, it could be any Native American. Hopis, of course, because they were considered healers, but it can be any, and I'm sure, I've already been kind of working on that with my contact through another tribe about sort of talking to them and seeing if they would be interested in, letting, I wouldn't know the nuts and bolts whether it would be renting from them or what have you, but some of those talks are actually already in the works. Unfortunately, my main connection is going to Antarctica, so I'm going to have to try some other routes to get that forward. But I just wanted to say everybody thinks it's a brilliant idea, Ian, and there's already been, you and I haven't talked in so long, there's already talks about that going on.
Oh, I know. They've been talking about it forever. I mean, they got boat casinos off. If you're a few miles off the ocean or whatever, off the beach, you're allowed to be under maritime law or something where you're not under American law. So yes. We could be building hospitals on boats, or building hospitals on American Indian land, or in Mexico, where I've already found some really good ones. So unfortunately, you have to have money kind of to go to Mexico to cover that kind of treatment. But if you do, I highly recommend it, because you don't have to worry about the evil empire over here.
Right.
You guys have very brilliant ideas. I really like you guys' ideas as this is moving forward, and maybe we should get Patch Adams involved in this too.
Yes, that'd be great.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Patch Adams. Robin Williams did the movie about him. He's like he heals with laughter and holistic healing and stuff. Really good guy. It's kind of like that.
And I know he goes to Mexico quite a bit too. So.
Yeah, and Aaron, who's the Aaron?
Aaron Brockovich.
Yes, that's the other lady. That would be great to get in here. Bottom line, we got to get as many people together and make a whole movement. One of these stories have got to hit. I've been following so many children that are already cured from the cancer thanks to cannabis, hemp oil, and other holistic modalities, yet still forced chemo. When especially for a tumor-type cancer, 3% success rate generally for that. for chemo, and the blood cancer is only 40% success rate. So that means 60 out of 100 bullets are still going to hit you when looking as soon as they get on that oil. I've heard as early as 2-3 days. Sometimes it takes months. And it's not always going to work. There is no silver bullet, but it's better than chemo. That's the part I don't understand. And why don't they just cook the books? That's the answer I finally came up to. I've been wondering what's wrong. Switch out the medications instead of injecting poisonous stuff into your arm and charging you your insurance company $2,000 a shot. Just cook the books and start giving them some cannabis hemp oil under the tongue. Forget the chemo. I don't understand. I'm ready to start doing this. I mean, on the side, if they don't, you know what I mean? Just give them something that's going to work. You're a doctor. You're supposed to be healing, not killing.
Well, yeah, but
very
that the chance to that is it's about money because they want to keep, the pharmaceutical companies want to keep everyone ill. They have no intention of healing anyone by no means.
Right. That's why we got to step in, man. The people got to start coming in. And I'm not even afraid to say this anymore because I'm actually talking to the FBI agents because I want their children to be safe too. And if I was ever involved in one of those busts like they had at the Camelot Cancer Center earlier this year, they closed them down because they were curing too many people, had a 75% success rate. If I was there the whole time, I'd be, instead of fighting the guys that were trying to arrest me, I'd be educating them. So I might hit one. I might connect with one. Okay, as you go. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's you got very brilliant ideas. I really like you guys' ideas, and that's basically, we just got to get the message out because, yeah, it's true, the pharmaceutical, they want the business, but we the people, we should still have the right to choose what kind of medicine or what the treatment, benefits us the most, that right should never be taken from us. Whether it's a child or an adult.
Yeah, it's just such a sad state of affairs. I wanted to keep this going with you guys because if nothing else, the consciousness of the masses will continue to rise, I hope, with learning about this, and more people will get upset because it's unfortunate. I said this the other night, I think, that the only good thing that they're murdering our children is that now maybe the rest of the world will listen because they've been murdering us all along, adults, but I guess nobody cares about adults. So now that they're doing it to our children, I think we're going to see change. I know we're going to see change in my lifetime. I'm making sure of it. So anybody wants to jump on a bandwagon, you can always join up my other website too. I just started this. It's called archangelart.com. Archangelart.com. And it's basically health warriors, freedom warriors like myself that are tired of the system and know we can't pick up guns to go and fight. So we're going to pick up cameras and go fight. And I want to put the camera in people's faces like this Maria Schreimer or any of the judges or any of the hospital people. So if people join, and you can be living wherever you are in the world, if you've got a camera, join archangelart.com. Have a conversation with me. And we'll find the people to go get on tape. We'll find the people we have to go interview. And I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I mean, we'll go and get their honest opinions. Like, why are you doing this when you know that it's only 3% success? Excuse me, success. Oh, you don't know it's only a 3% success rate? Well, let me explain something to you. And then go into it and try and change people's thought processes. Well, I interviewed a wonderful MD down in Mexico who was a surgeon, and she herself said she would never do surgery for cancer. She would never do chemo or radiation. She would do the Gerson therapy combined with immune therapy, combined with alkalizing. She's an MD, a surgeon, and she asked one of her oncologists, and I got this on tape. It's amazing. She said, she was telling me this story. She said, I asked one of my oncologist friends, why do you give chemo if you know it doesn't work? He said, well, that's all I'm allowed to do. So she asked him the question again, because people are dying from it, right? Why do you give chemo if you know it's not going to work? And he said, well, it's the only way I'll get paid. Because if he does anything else, he can't run it through the books, and he can't get paid. So, I mean, and to get that kind of stuff on tape and put it in the movie, people are going to wake up very quickly with this film, I think. I'm very proud of it. People, thank you for donating, folks. The only way can always use your help because we are making this film to change the system for the people. We the people. We're tired of it. All right, I'm going to take a break. You go, Cynthia. Am I even on? Hello?
Yeah, you're on. Can you hear me?
Okay, maybe Cynthia's not there. You go ahead. I need to take a
I'm
break.
back. I'm back. I can hear now.
Oh.
I've been sending you instant messages. I don't know if you're seeing them all, but so if you just forgive me because for some reason over here it keeps zapping in and out, and so if I ask a stupid question like an answer you guys just gave, that's why I apologize. That and I'm blonde.
Okay.
It's doing the same way on my end. It fades out, but yeah, it's. And I want to thank you very much, for all the effort you guys are doing, and getting the word out for these Amish people, they're good people, in general, and, they want what's best for their family, and here, they're being taken advantage of, so, again, and this doesn't only go for the Amish family, this is for any family in America. You don't want this happening to your child. Let your voice be heard. You want what's best for your child. Now's the time to speak up. Support, this, I care can, and let's move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, okay, so what do you know the kind of treatment that's been working? Like, how did she get cancer-free? I mean, I know she did a round of chemo, which, didn't kill her and maybe even helped. Sometimes the chemo does help. But the key is, and that's the other thing, you know what? If you're in Mexico, they do chemo, radiation, and surgery in the right order. Before they scoop it out, they make sure there's a low dose of radiation around the site and give you a low dose of chemo in your blood. So if any rogue cells get out while they're scooping it out, they get killed. And they got an 85% success rate. So for all those writers and bloggers and people out there trashing the alternative medicines and stuff and think that we just completely hate all of Western medicine. No, I just hate the order they do it in. If I would never do synthetic drugs to cure something when I know the holistic stuff I know. But if you want to, then I say go down to Tijuana, man. Go down to the American Holistic Care, and they're oncologists that will do chemo, radiation, surgery in the correct order. So it's all low dose. It's the old kind of radiation that's called cobalt radiation. That's not as bad. It doesn't kill everything like that goes through. And go that way if you want. But the American way is wrong because if it calls for that kills or cures you. So that's just my opinion. And you were right. It should come down to a choice. And I said this to the out to the world, basically, about the American Cancer Society, because I shred on them a lot, the whole think before you pink thing, because for those that don't know, they raise money, millions of dollars, people like us, innocent, normal people trying to do good for the world, raise this money from our little jogging events and our little things, and then they just give that back for more chemo and radiation and surgery kind of research. They don't do anything holistic. So I'm saying until they start giving half the money they raise to holistic alternative medicine research, I'm going to be against it. So I say think before you pink. Don't donate to any of that, and most of the money also goes to the CEOs. I read one article where a guy still gets $3 million a year. He doesn't even work there anymore. You can cure so many people with $3 million. It's not even funny, or at least give them the best shot they possibly could have. So as usual, now I'm getting all worked up. So I got to go hit the heavy bag.
I really appreciate you. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate everything you're doing. And and as more and more people, see what's happening, they will, more people will appreciate what you've started. And as a 2-time cancer survivor myself, when I was 3 years old, the type of cancer I had, the doctors here in the States said, they didn't have, they couldn't successfully treat me, so they advised, us going to Mexico. So we went to Tijuana, Mexico, Baja, California, the Contreras Hospital that's right across the border from San Ysidro, California. And I actually underwent low doses of radiation, and my cancer went in remission. But we were supposed to do follow-up treatments when we get back to the States, which we didn't. And then when I was 6 years old, I actually got the cancer back. And after my first chemotherapy treatment, I got spinal meningitis. But luckily, I survived it. But then after that, I started incorporating alternative medicine, which I understand, the Sarah and her family, they started incorporating, the alternative vitamins and herbal method, which,
to jump in and say, I forgot the most important part. In Mexico, after they give, if you chose that, for some reason, chose the surgery, chemo, radiation, which is fine because they have such a high percentage of success rate, the key is they come in right after and give you high-dose vitamin C, high-dose vitamin mineral mixes, Laetril. There's so many things you can do to counteract, because that's what they don't do in America. If it calls for a cup, they give you a cup and it kills you or cures you. But in Mexico, they just give you the little bit that you need, and then they pump your body full of nutrition. They get you on an alkaline diet, so they do everything. I personally think if you just did holistic, you'll probably beat your cancer anyway, but some of these people don't want to take any chances. If you're going to do the Western medicine, please replenish your body, because the chemo will really hurt you, as does the radiation. But they know this, and they know how to counter it. So that's, if anybody's going to want to do complementary, you make sure you do it in the right order with the right people and reboost your immune system when it's all said and done. That's what I've been learning anyway. And always, if you can, no matter where you are, incorporate cannabis hemp oil with the THC if you have cancer, because the THC is causing the cell apoptosis, where the cells basically commit suicide thanks to the THC. And the cannabinoids are just they don't even know all the healing properties of them yet. If you can combine, and there's two kinds of oil real quick too as we wrap this show up in case anybody's listening. There's the THC kind that gets you high, that's for cancer. There's the CBD kind that doesn't get you high, and it's for pain and seizures. And there's a great documentary on YouTube from CNN from, was it Sanchez Galute or something like that? Anyway, it's CNN on seizures and of all that kind of stuff, the autism and the shakes. That CBD oil is working very well for that and pain. Now, if you, in a perfect world, and we didn't have to worry about money and all that, if I had cancer, I'd be taking the high THC oil and the high CBD oil, because together they're unbelievable, apparently. And again, this is basically the closest thing to a silver bullet, but there is no silver bullet. So, that's just what I would do if I had cancer. Just FYI, people, the high THC oil and the high CBD oil, if and when possible, on top of the alkaline diet and everything else. I hope, do you know if this family knows about cannabis hemp oil as far as treatments?
I don't know that they know about cannabis. I myself, I know quite a bit about cannabis, and I know it's also available in pill form. To introduce to them, because I personally know the grandfather, the one that's been interviewed.
Yeah.
However, what treatment they are using, if it made her cancer free and keeps her cancer at bay, then I don't see need of adding the cannabis. However, I think the cannabis is from what I am learning, is a magic bullet, or it's something that's been missing. People don't know, the benefit actually from it, and that's one thing. I want them to know that it's also, cannabis is an herb, which actually one report has found it is more effective, it's safer and more effective than any drug therapy in the medical industry, which I don't, I just found a report like that, it's something I guess with it.
I believe in angels, and I believe in you. I believe in the simple things and everything